Morning. It's Sunday, the 31st of August, 2025. Look where I am. Betsanger Social Club. It's Kent Miners Carnival today. I've come to see that. And as promised, I'm going to upload the speeches, the rest of the speeches from Friday, from the ASLEF rally in Hull. And the list of speakers today we've got is Sarah Woolley from the Bakers Food and Allied Workers Union. Paddy Hill, one of the Lumley Seat Warriors. You weren't scheduled to speak. He just took the opportunity to speak. So hats off to Paddy. He's from Unite the Union. We've got Ian Murray from the Fire Brigade Union. How good are they? They pledged £2,000 to ASLEF Site Fund. That's solidarity for you. We've also got Hannah Scott from the National Education Union, school teachers, and the man himself, Mick Whelan, the General Secretary of ASLEF. So they're not long speeches, like I say. Enjoy. I'm not sure. Look at that aerial there. See that aerial? Believe it or not, there's no fucking signal. Have a super Sunday.
Our next speaker is no stranger to ASLEF, and it's always a pleasure to have her here. So I'm pleased to welcome Sarah Woolley from the Bakers Union. Sarah, thank you.
Who decided to put a stage there? Friends, on behalf of the Bakers Food and Allied Workers Union, I want to bring you our full solidarity. We're here today, aren't we? Because when one worker is attacked in this way, the whole trade union movement has an absolute duty to stand together to fight back. Before I go into my speech, if you've not got your free copy of Morning Star, please do get it. On the front page today is the story, is the situation. It's all about this rally. So if you're not really up to speed and you're here just because you want to be, because why would we not as trade unionists, you can find out more in that, so grab a copy. We've got to be clear though, raising safety concerns is not only a worker's right, it's a duty. Every single one of us who's ever done a shift at work knows that when we see something that puts lives at risk, we have a responsibility to speak up about it. And that responsibility should never, ever, ever lead to costing our jobs or being blacklisted. Because we have to protect our workmates, don't we? Because they have to protect us too. Health and safety isn't a nice to have in the workplace, it's fundamental, it's vital. Trade unions are built on it. Our movement fought and continues to fight for safe workplaces, for shorter hours, for protections against dangerous conditions, yet here we are in 2025, still facing employers who think they can sack someone for raising the alarm when something isn't safe. It's absolutely outrageous, and Hull trains should be ashamed of themselves. And that's why your fight matters to us all today. In the Bakers Union, we know this all too well. Our members work in food factories, bakeries, fast food outlets, in hot, fast-paced, often dangerous environments. We've lost members to workplace accidents. We've seen what happens when bosses put profit before people. And we know that the only thing that keeps us safe is workers. Workers organised and willing to take a stand. And that's exactly what you're doing. And I'm not going to speak for Mick, but I bet he's so incredibly proud to be your General Secretary, because I know I would be doing this for so long. By defending your colleague, you're defending every single worker across the UK's right to go home safe at the end of the day. You're saying loud and clear, we will not be punished for protecting each other, and that message sends ripples. It sends ripples out to everybody. Even the members that are in precarious work and unrecognised workplaces can see what you're doing and be inspired by your actions. So I want to thank you for that and let you know that we are with you. Our members are with you across the country. We'll spread the word, we'll offer whatever support we can, we'll apply pressure when you need it, and we will keep raising our voices until justice is done. Stay strong, stay united, and remember, health and safety is non-negotiable. When you fight, you just don't fight for one driver, you fight for every single worker's right to speak up and be heard without fear of retribution. Solidarity.
Thanks as always, Sarah. Always inspirational. who's a Unite organisation from the Sheffield bin dispute, to say a few words.
Morning everyone. I hadn't expected to be speaking today, but I'm not going to be shy. It's brilliant to see so many different trade unions here today. Every single one of you has turned out to support our colleague in ASLEF, and he is our colleague, is our comrade, and we are 100% behind him. We bring solidarity from Lumley Street, Sheffield, where our members have been out on strike for over 12 months, and we have our own dispute. And we need to know this: big companies that we're in dispute with, big companies that ASLEF is in dispute with, don't care what trade union you are in. In fact, they'd rather you weren't in one at all. We can't have that. We're here together to show them that every single trade union member in this country is four square behind the sacked ASLEF colleague. And I hope that we all spread the word when we go away from here. We don't just turn up here and clap our hands. We go back to our workplaces, we go back to our members, and we tell them to come out as well and stand in solidarity with us. One last message as well: if one of us is kicked, we all know we are all kicked. So no good hiding behind and thinking it won't happen to you, because one day what's happened to this ASLEF comrade may well do. So remember this: stand up, stand strong, and don't give in until we win. Thank you, comrade.
Well, next up again, another friend of ASLEF. It's absolutely again a privilege to welcome Ian Murray, the president of the Fire Brigades Union. Ian, thank you very much.
Cheers, Nigel. The ASLEF have spent the money on the stage, can't you? Brothers and sisters, I bring a message of solidarity from the Fire Brigades Union, because I applaud every single one of you who is striking today. Strike action is not something that us as workers undertake lightly, but sometimes with unscrupulous bosses they leave us little or no option but to withdraw our labour. I applaud every single one of you who's on strike and taking action today, for being so resolute, so focused and so determined to win. 74 days of strike action today. 74 days of defending one of your colleagues who was wrongfully sacked, but most importantly, comrades, it's 74 days of strike action defending what is an injustice to one individual. The bosses, they'll try to break that resolve, they'll try to starve workers back to work, as we know, that's what they do. And the whole trade union movement needs to get behind these unions that are on strike and not allow that to happen. Yesterday, the FPU's Executive Council was meeting, and when I told them that I was attending today's rally and that you'd taken 74 days of strike action, or you will be today, they've agreed to donate £2,000 to your strike fund. And if this dispute continues, I'll go back to them and I'll say we want some more money. But I remember as a spotty 16-year-old engineering apprentice, I worked at Mason Heating Products on Headon Road. Some of you might know it, some of you might not. But one day one of the welders on the production line got sacked for having an altercation with the production line manager over what was a serious safety issue. Word soon got out, and back in those days we called an emergency meeting in the works canteen, all unions that was covered at Mason's. We had the meeting, we put our hands up, and by the end of the day we'd all walked out. Obviously this was pre any anti-trade union laws. However, as that spotty 16-year-old embarking on my work career after school, I remember what my old shop steward said to me, and I'm going to quote it, and I do apologise because it does include a swear word. And it went, "Listen son, if they get rid of one of us who stands up and dares to call them out, the bastards will carry on until there's no one left who dares to stand up and speak out. So sometimes we have to make a stand." This has stuck with me since that day, and that was my introduction to an injury to one is an injury to all. We as workers have to stick together when the bosses come for one of us. No one else will come charging in to save the day, just us as workers, as a collective in trade unions. We're the only ones that can protect our own. And let's face it, There'll be no decent health and safety in the workplace if it weren't for trade unions. There'll be no decent terms and conditions in the workplace if it wasn't for trade unions. And those giants that went before us and fought for all those workers' rights that we now enjoy today, they were given to us by generous employers. There was hard fought for and won by, and a lot of prices paid for that in the past. So that's why, comrades, we as trade unions, we need to stand up and fight for those that speak out. We need to stand and fight and protect our own. Comrades, your action in support of one of your own who was wrongfully sacked is absolutely justified, it's absolutely necessary, and it is morally right. All trade management are an absolute disgrace. Their actions are the root cause of this dispute. It's their actions what are causing these strikes. They have the opportunity to get round the table and resolve it, but they choose not to. And I'll finish with this, comrades. There's no doubt in my mind you will win this dispute. So stay strong, stay resolute, stay determined, and stay united. We know these people, they thrive on divide and conquer to end our disputes. So stay united. If they can't divide you, they won't conquer you. Solidarity, comrades.
Comrades, I'm proud to stand here today as a member of the National Education Union, standing shoulder to shoulder with our ASLEF comrades. I'm Anna, I'm a teacher, I'm an NEU Health and Safety rep, and I'm on the NEU National Executive. And I'm here today as a fellow worker and a fellow trade unionist, sending our full solidarity in defending a comrade who was sacked for speaking up about health and safety. This sacking is an attack on anyone who puts people's lives before management's comfort. Because when one worker is attacked, every worker is attacked. And when one of your members is wrongfully sacked, it is not just a personal injustice, it's a shot against all of us. And we are here to say, we are not intimidated and we will not back down. Let's be clear, this isn't about one dismissal, this is about health and safety as well. It's about the right of every worker, whether in a classroom, in a train cab, in a workshop or in an office, to do their job without fear, without bullying and without being punished for raising concerns. We know what happens when health and safety is ignored. Accidents happen, lives are put at risk and communities suffer. When a worker is punished for standing up for safety, it is not only unjust, it is dangerous. Safety cannot be sidelined in the name of profit. Employers need to hear this loud and clear. You cannot sack away your responsibility. You cannot silence people who put safety first. You cannot pick off one of us and expect the rest to stay quiet. We are not quiet. We are not divided. We are united. In education, we know the same story. Staff raising concerns about workload, about unsafe buildings, about the mental health of both us and our pupils, and too often management try to sweep this away. Well, we say no. Whether it's asbestos in schools, safety on railways, our lives and our communities matter more than their profits and their convenience. Brothers and sisters, let's make this absolutely clear. We are not asking for anything unreasonable, for people to be safe at work and when travelling. You are not alone. Every time someone stands up for safety, they make every workplace that little bit safer. Your fight is our fight and we stand with you. Solidarity.
Well done, Anna.
Thank you, Anna. I'll leave the final word to the ASLEF General Secretary, Mick Whelan.
Ian, you're right about this stage. Colleagues, comrades, friends, humbled to see so many trade unions here today, so many from civil society, so many people that are and understand that workers are the heart of what we do. In every family, people go to work, and we hope that they return home safely on the day that they go to work. But what we have here are people who dissemble, people who lie, people who misrepresent. Who was it that briefed the press that the driver fell asleep at the wheel? Well, it wasn't ASLEF, it wasn't the trade union movement, it wasn't his friends and colleagues, It was some nasty employer, because all we get asked about is the driver who fell asleep at the wheel. Let's tell the true backstory to this. We had a driver who in any other industry, right, would be regarded as a hero. We had a driver, right, who's tried to do the right thing. And he wanted to be here today, but his words were, with so many people coming out to support me, it would be too emotional and I would be afraid to be in that position. So we send our goodwill, our best wishes to that person. And we, as we always do, we send our support to every striking worker, whether it be the Sheffield bin workers, the RMC in cross country, or anybody who's out in support of their own members doing the right thing for the right reasons, whether it be natural justice or health and safety, which are the two core issues here today. But let me tell you about the individual themselves. I was with my colleagues from the fire brigade and the rail industry at the ceremony at St Paul's the other week, paying tribute to all those that ran towards Tavistock Square and the other terrorist things that happened on the 7/7. Strange enough, this driver was one of them. He was lodging in London. He's ex-forces, and when the bombs went off in Tavistock Square, he ran to the aid of others. That did leave him with one or two problems, but we worked through it in the industry and he came back and maintained his perfect driving record. And then he comes forward at a routine safety briefing and he said, 3 days last week I didn't sleep too well. And immediately they suspended him. Now, strange enough, I wouldn't have a problem with that if it was about his welfare. Is he okay? Are we doing the right things? Are what we've agreed with him the right process to ensure that his welfare and the safety of the railway in the right place? That will never be an issue for us. But that wasn't the case. They suspended him, then they downloaded his trains from the 3 days in question, and there was not one problem with any of the black box downloads. He was proven empirically to have done nothing wrong. So in the safety culture we have within our industry that we fought for the last 2.5 decades, in every other company he would have been returned to work. And we do have what we call competent management systems. Places where you can look after people, monitor them obtrusively or unobtrusively for their own welfare and for their own benefit. But they didn't use that. Why? I'll tell you why, because he'd done nothing wrong. So then they decide they're going to discipline him. Okay, we've got a discipline process. What were the charges going to be? And how were they going to do it? This perfect, professional, wonderful company that's going to work within the collective bargaining that we've got agreed with them, charged him under the Health and Safety at Work Act. Well, last time I looked, whole trains weren't the police. They weren't the HMRI, who are the only people that can do that legally, but they told us. They told us they had advice that they could do so. Well, poor old Nigel, you know, does his homework, sits there religiously. It's last 7 months he's been waiting for that email and that advice. We still haven't seen it. Checks his inbox every day. We don't believe he exists. If they can lie to the press, they can lie about that, and we believe that's what they've done. We don't understand why this witch hunt has started. We don't understand why effectively they want to blacklist this driver. But when you think it can't get any worse, it does. Because these wonderful professional people who only care about their employees and this wonderful family firm they talk about, then we had an appeal. Now, there are many train drivers here today. Not one of the train drivers here today can tell you what the train driver licence regulations are. They charged him under a process that we don't do. In our industry, they can charge you under your contract of employment. Late, absent, fraud. They can charge you under the rule book. Passing a signal at danger, speeding, being negligent. They can't do you under processes that we don't recognise and don't exist, but they did. We asked the managing director to review it. We waited and we waited and we waited for the outcome of that review. And when it came back, it was a shitty little email at 18:48 one evening on the day that we were going on strike, saying that he'd looked at the process and they were a bust. Well, that is evidently a lie. Strangely enough, he's no longer with the company anymore. He's gone on to new opportunities. Strangely enough, the guy who's taken over hasn't come near us since. So when they say they're willing to talk, when they say they're willing to engage with us, we have heard nothing for months. We do not avoid conversations. We do not avoid trying to solve this. But I tell you what we will do. We will stand and fight with our colleagues and Hull trains until we get our comrade reinstated. I am so humble and so proud to be with Hull Trains and our members who've taken 74 days of action in not the strongest of leverage positions and continue to do so and do the right thing. We are a trade union is made up of people, and people tell us what to do. And while the people in Hull tell us they're going to fight, we will fight. Thank you for fighting with us, thank you for standing with us, keep going, solidarity.